This commentary that I'm bringing to you right now is kind of an extension of what I was talking about when it referred to RG3 in the Bed Bucking Hall of Shame video that I recently did on him. Now, what ended up happening is that commentary right there actually extended even further than what I just talked about, because Ryan Clark actually got involved with it and he had something to say about it, and then Ryan Clark and RG3 ended up having a back and forth on social media, and then just spiraled into a whole nother conversation. And I'm gonna just let that just stay where it's at. But the reason why you see this tweet on your screen, mind you, this Brandon Mahoney person is nobody important, but they decided they was going to throw themselves into the situation. But the outcome of it is why I'm making this commentary. So this person right here was replying in, I don't know who, I guess they were replying maybe to Ryan Clark, because a lot of people had some things to say about Ryan Clark in his response to RG3. And he says MLK Jr. would like RG3 more than Ryan Clark. He said Clark is a race-baiting phony. RG3 stands on business and has receipts instead of feelings. And he wrote that on May 19, 2025. And I find it interesting that this conversation and all of this was happening on Malcolm X's 100th birthday. And as you can see, he got a lot of engagement and all this, that, and the third. And a lot of people was coming for Brandon Mahoney in the comments underneath what he was saying, because they were questioning why in the world would you invoke Martin Luther King's name in this situation. And I'm going to show you one of the responses that he gave. He says, as a biracial person, MLK Jr. has been an idol of mine as long as I can remember. I've experienced racism and bigotry from both sides, and I'm a huge proponent for his message of judging a person by their character and not by their skin color. So you're wrong, but nice try. Again, this was a response that he gave to one of the people that was on there. Now, me being the investigative person that I can be at times, I said to myself, okay, he says he's a biracial person. Let me go ahead and click on his picture to see who he is, because he does have a profile picture and it doesn't look like he's standing by himself. It looks like he's with another person, probably in the way that they're standing, most likely his wife. So this is a picture of Brandon Mahoney. Now, this dude looks like a straight up and down white guy. So if there's anything biracial about him, it must have been tainted a couple generations back, because he looks very white passing. Now this is him right here. That's him, and I'm guessing the way that they're posed, that must be his wife. Now he says he's biracial. Leave that right where it's at. And it's crazy because remember, I just recently did a commentary not too long ago about Patrick Mahomes and him saying that his hair was nappy and he was trying to go for a new look or this, that, and the third. And we were sitting there saying to ourselves, nappy where? That no one in the black community would ever deem his hair nappy, not by a long shot. And people in the black community or the part of the black collective will look at this Brandon Mahoney dude and say, you look straight up and down like a white dude. And it's crazy he says that he's biracial. I wonder what box did he check off? That's what we would like to know. But allegedly, according to him, he's biracial. Now, the main reason why I'm doing this commentary is because there's someone who was very significant, I guess you can say very close to Dr. King, that got wind of this response that Brandon put up when he invoked Dr. King's name in a conversation that had nothing to do with him. And that person who brought up Brandon's comment and responded to it was none other than Dr. King's daughter, Bernice King. And what Bernice had to say was, how would my father even get in this? And why is the word hate being callously levied by a commentator concerning a player's feelings about a competitor? So she just simply saw his comment because he was probably one of the first people to bring it up. And it's in the algorithm, so she probably sees it. And that's the thing I'd always like to know. Why do they always bring Dr. King's name up? Like he could have left his comment say anything, but he just had to bring up Dr. King, and MLK was the first name that he brought up, and he automatically said that MLK Jr. would just downright agree with RG3. How would you know? How would you know who he would or he would not have agreed to? And see, that's the thing right there. He claims to be biracial, but I swear if he is, like, allegedly he's biracial, then his white side must take over every single time, because I'm willing to bet that he talks like this on a regular basis. So this is what Bernice said in response to him, but check out how he responded to her. Now, this part right here is what made it even more, I guess you could say, hilarious. Brandon comes back and he says, "You're right. I shouldn't invoke your father, and I could only imagine how frustrating it is when people do. But he did it anyway." That's the thing. Now, if he was smart, he would have just straight up apologized right there and just left it at that statement. But no, he had to continue further and continue to put his foot further down his throat. He said, "I should have said any rational person instead." He said, "I've always seen him as a leader who fought for equality and the rights of all people and against racism from all sides, working towards a better future for all. Maybe I'm wrong, but no one is in a position to speak for him, so I'm sorry for that." And see how he just completely just all lives mattered Dr. King? Like, that's immediately what he did. Because and you could tell he has a bastardized knowledge of who Dr. King actually was. And you can tell that he grew up probably in a household that fed him that bastardized version as well. Could have very well been the school system too. That's why they keep propping him up and they keep twisting his words. And notice they don't go past "I have a dream," because they keep talking about content of character, and we know that came from that speech. They never go past that, because if they knew why Dr. King was taken out, it wasn't because of that speech. If it was, they would have taken him out a few years before he actually was killed. But they keep leaning on that. So his response to that, because the thing is, he had to respond like this because he wasn't going to talk to the daughter of Dr. King greasy. Now, what's interesting is if you look at the post that he made initially, the one that I went over when he invoked Dr. King's name initially in response, he was talking like he had his chest puffed out, like he had his nose turned up, like, yeah, y'all can't say nothing to me. But the minute Bernice checked him, he went into docile territory and stayed there. And of course, that opened up the floodgates for people to clown him. And he couldn't really respond back to them because he already responded to her. So she made him feel small and insignificant in that moment. The point of the matter is that you could have responded to this person any way you felt, how, whatever the case may be, but don't bring up Dr. King like that's how he would have been, because you don't know this man. You never met him, and unfortunately you never will. And he claims to be biracial. This is why a lot of people in the black community side eye a lot of people under that biracial category. That's exactly why right there, and why many people think that they cannot be trusted. Not saying this applies to every last one of them, but a lot of them will get a litmus test that they will have to pass before they go further on in trying to, I guess you could say, be down with the crew. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this down in the comments, and I will talk to you in the next one.